Ule jamani kuna mwingine kakotisha, kotisha alikuwa anakuja. Alishamsimamia hivi. Na akakuwa na kamwili by the way. Sio picha zake. Lakini there's just that thing of yes. Then there's another guy who used to sell matumbo, metura pahali. Nikienda kutupa takataka. Hawezi tupa takataka hapa. Nikamwambia nishatupa. What he told me was a bit bitter. You know they called it the M word, the one they like calling people. Yeah. So me I went to the house and Allan alitoka. Alika gonganisha hiyo kitu ya mutura.
What?
Yeah.
He was that brave.
There are stories we never talked because he was saved. Alikuwa hataki kukumbuka past yake.
Yeah. But he became a warrior for the sake of his sister to safeguard you.
Yeah. And I think now he did, because actually after that there's like a smooth sailing until now when he got saved.
So he got saved at the age of 19. Tell me what that did to you. Because you were best friends. You were walking everywhere together.
I lost a friend. Nikaokoka. Nikamfuata. Nika backslide. Nikaokoka tena. Nikadik maraka tano.
Ndio mfuate.
Ndio nimfuate.
Because now how can
aishikishi. But then you see around that time
and he was 19 when he got saved.
He was 19 and he had come from I think alikuwa ametoka shule akapitia kwenda kupiga kamnyweso.
Yeah. Because by the way, that story you need to give that story of from the age of 14 is when he started drinking.
He drank. Alikunywa. Alikunywa. And
he drank the
bad one, the serious one.
Because he would drink.
You know that when he would drink and come in, amejikojolea. Yeah. And I remember I would cry. Would really cry. And my mother would just be wondering, Kai, what did I do to my children? Yeah, because all I wanted them was to have an education.
Yeah.
Because paying
life.
Rent this much is so that my children can go to school. Yeah. But sasa amejingiza na hii. Ashawaishikwa. Akashikwa. Wametoka kukunywa. Ama wako mahali hapo hivyo kukunywa. Polisi wakakuja. Wakamshika. My mother ran after that lorry. So alikuwa amefika mahali akasema wacha ashikwe, mtu akamwambia ukiacha ashikwe ingie ndani.
You are finished.
That is it. The morning, and you know how my mother was the quiet one. Alienda kubembelezana atoke. Asifike kotini. There's a guy they went to, I saw a picture the other day, it's called Tommy Lee. Tommy Lee, his father did not care. Or something. Ama hakukuwa around.
They were drinking together.
Care. Yeah. Tommy Lee alikaa ndani. And that was the year he was doing his exams. And he never did his exams. Maisha yake ikamchinjia hapo. So mother fought. Akampush. Anampiga. Anaingia mpaka namza. Anakuja. Sasa at least ako kasoba. Alani. Wakunywa pombe. Nasa hizo amegage. Ako gauge.
Anamwambia usijakunywa.
Sibato. Hebu fungua mdomo. Anamuai coffee pana niangukia. Na mimi na mafinyo zangu toka. But Musema alini understand. Yeah, so when he got saved.
So those 4 years, stay a bit on that one of the drinking.
Yeah.
He drank for about like 5 years.
Yes.
But it was very dangerous drinking.
It was very dangerous drinking.
Because it was overly done.
He was overly done and at his age. And then there are also some of these things they used to say the tap, the madrax. Zilikuwa zinauzangwa huko, maroshe. Hizo madawa. So if you could not afford to drink,
you can take the drugs.
Yes. And then unfortunately,
so this thing started so many years ago. Can
so
you
many
see
years
the devil
ago.
Is a liar?
Yes.
Yeah.
So many years ago. And you know they're done so innocently. Because like now, this guy, there's a guy called Mbau. The mother walikuwa wanapika. So nile katika ile wanapika, wacha nikuchotee kadogo.
You changa sasa.
Yeah. Changa, marabusa. But they alikunywa kila kitu.
Everything. He told us, he used to tell me he was drinking everything because he wanted to get high fast. Quickly.
Yeah.
He wanted that a glass, he couldn't take sips. He wanted to gargle it so that he's completely gone.
Madra, hizo maroshe. Kuna siku alikuja amekaa tu. Inzi zilijaa hapa kwa mdomo. You can imagine mother kuja akimpata hivyo. Yeah. So we were losing him.
Yeah.
We were losing him. And then when he got saved, and then when he did his exams, my mother suffers no foolishness. Hiyo ikufanywa vizuri. On your marks,
you go back.
Go for
you
form 3.
Repeat.
Yeah.
So he repeated from form 3.
He repeated to form 3.
Yeah.
And he did well. And he went to Parklands High School.
Yeah.
And then now he got saved. Hapo.
Yeah.
Tumepata crusade. Lakini crusade, atuende crusade. It is on the way to.
Yeah.
Yeah, ni via.
Yeah.
Via kwa pombe.
Yeah.
Sikuwaza, Mungu ni mzuri. Okay, sawa, wacha niende. Actually, he was going to Huruma kukunywa. Akapata iko crusade, that was the way. Hata when we were coming for the funeral, tulipitia hapo na Pastor Masi, nikamwambia kale ndio kale ka kiwanja. Kariobangi hapo nyumba za Kanjo.
Because now that he now stopped, he was going to drink.
He went to drink, akapata, amepata crusade. And when you have crusades, unaona wale wanakujanga kuokoka kila siku, mazee appreciate them.
Yeah.
Wacheni waokoke hata mara 100.
Yeah, because one day. So he stopped there and surrendered his life to Jesus.
Yes, first he passed, kukuja hapo mkenile ka crusade.
Na ati amewaka.
Kogeji amewaka la hizo makoma zina.
Anonala. You mean this thing can work?
Yeah. Then he got saved and stuck.
And then that's when he met Mom.
And then, yes, during that crusade.
Yes.
And then, but he was still struggling.
Right.
Unaenda unapata, kwa neighbor.
Yeah.
Kuna kafegi hapo. Wewe uliokoka, unajua tu.
I've been there. Wewe uliokoka.
Uliokoka.
Na nini tu unafanya kawaida na sigara.
So he would get so frustrated.
People be mean.
Yeah. He went for Word of Life camp. He pushed Madhe akamlipia Word of Life. Alienda Mombasa Word of Life camp. 1 week. Mazi alikuja amepiga turnaround.
His life
360 plus 180 nakuja wenye wanapiga hesabu that one
360 and 180.
Yeah. Yani alipiga 360 turn akodi akaongeza 180. Changed. Never smoked again. Never gossiped again. Went quiet.
Jesus.
What now he became?
He became the person he was created to be from the beginning. Because you said in the beginning he was just a quiet boy who didn't want
do much. Now he became more quiet. Church.
Then that's where now he met. Of course, he got saved at Mom's meeting.
Yes.
Mom evangelist.
Yes. So anaendaga huko.
So she's Reverend Teresia Wairimu.
Yes.
And they met that time.
And they met that time.
Then tell me, after they met, he went to her house and found he has never seen a cleaner house
like that
in his life.
Yes.
Ati he came to your house and did what?
Hey, wacha nikuambie. Magu alipata shida. Hey, if you lived with him.
First, ati he cleaned it.
And he used to, Saturday, tulikuwa na ndoo ya mabati. There's a mabati ndoo.
Yeah.
He would wakisha jiko, anaweka maji. Inachemuka. Anything called innerwear. Inasokiwa hapo. Soak. Anaosha nyumba mpaka na jik floor. Tandika airing. You're like, kwani uliokoka mpaka kwa kufua? But then he just changed. Excellence now started.
From there. And don't forget, this is now, my partner in crime has gone. So I'm alone. So you are feeling
and
bad.
I must try to finyo.
Yeah.
Ndio at least arudi side yangu.
Yes.
So anakuja Madhe anakuja. Harani. Ako church. Kila saa tu ni church.
Hakuna kitu kingine huyo.
Madhe aliniambia wacha apotelee kanisani.
Yeah.
Rekioli le kanisa.
Badala ya hizi pombe zile anafanya pia hata na jini.
I've never forgotten those words for my mother.
Right.
And he kept encouraging. So he came back. He would clean the house. Ilikuwa inasuguliwa na brush. Alinua baka brush. Magu alikuwa na shida.
Asichafue nyumba.
Asijaribu kuchafua
Don't
nyumba. Even sleeping one bed with my brother. Magu learned.
Is that when he was telling you now that when he gets married? No, he started telling you that
he
from the time he was a little boy.
Us even before when he was, you see what would happen? That was now, alikuwa kitu 13.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Si tumelala, sidabudeka yao iko. Alafu kuko na pasia, mimi niko chini, Allan nako juu, so Magua analala hiyo sana, naeka kichwa hiyo side, mimi naeka kichwa hiyo side. Madhi yuko kuna kapasia, alafu kuko na kanjia, alafu kapasia na kanjia nikale unatani hivi. So alikuwa anafungua mattress hapa hivi. You know, now talking to, sasa tunapiga story. So kesho, now we would close school and go to ushago. Hiyo kitu ilikuwa inamsumbua. But you see now, because he's the elder one, sasa amefika yeye ndio elder one, sasa ni kufanyishwa kazi. Yeye nitafanya ile kazi mob. Mimi huko jikoni, nitaenda raundi na show, but he has to make sure that things are working. So when we would open, he would really ingemtocha. So anafungua na niambia, Wambui, acha nikuambie. Mimi nikipata watu wangu watakuwa wanaenda ushago. Watu wangu watakuwa wanaenda ushago. Watakuwa nawapeleka London. Na Kajangito namwambia, wewe kwenda. London. Haja vile London ni mbali wewe. Haja vile kwenda London ni domob.
Anasema nitawapeleka London.
Yes. Haya tunakaa. Naanza kusema, unajua nini? Me when I get my wife, I will love my wife. Because nitakuwa tuna gari moja. We will be riding in the same car. Mimi sitaki ati niko wale wadosi ati niko na Mike, tuko tunaendesha gari moja na wife yangu. Niambia, afadhali gari kaa 5 mtu anaingia yake anaenda. Hapana Wambui. He spoke
and said he will love his wife.
Mimi sitajawahi piga wife yangu. Ati vile afadhali alikuwa anapiga, mimi siwezi piga wife yangu. Mimi siwezi. Na when you were brought home, the day ulikujaga home, niliuliza madhe ate
Nuona.
So so he grew up that, like me, he grew up speaking what he wants his life to be,
and he would
how
say,
he wants his wife, and he would say, and he insisted, me, I will never beat my wife. Mimi na wife yangu tutakuwa tunaendesha gari moja. And he would tell you, know Wambui, when you don't, kusali bibi yako wako huko na yuko hapo, amtajuana, amko pamoja. And I have seen it, live it. I have seen him. I remember in 2004 when we came to visit from Kisumu. And I was so excited. Hata sisi now nienda ukawatisha na stories za Kisumu.
Yes.
Kuja kapata watu wameenda London.
Wako London. Like, what he was saying.
And that's when it hit me. And I remember telling Sydney, I wish I had, when he was dreaming, I wish I would have dreamt and spoken. Because me, I kept saying, how?
Stop.
I mean,
it's too far.
It's
too expensive.
Tutoka Kariobangi aje hapa.
Tukinyesha huku juu unaendaje London. Wacha story zako.
Please. Kitanda
unajifanya.
And I would say, unajua vile ni domob. So, he grew up confessing. Confessing. Challenging my mother. Do you know, he even asked my mother, umefanya kazi kwa Muhindi for how long?
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Mami, you see this Wahindis, this is what they do, blah, 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 blah. But you know, because of the comfort zone, angeweza kutoka, and I think not knowing so much, but he kept challenging.
Like, think bigger. Like, oh my God.
Things he used to say. Paka anakuja kusema, let me not say, but some of our relatives, ati nini yao ni kidogo.
Nyumba.
Hapa. You know the one that is here opposite nini?
Hiyo
ni ndogo. Alikuwa sema hiyo ni ndogo.
Because of where he's going.
Exactly.
What are you talking about?
From you know, there are times I sit and I remember.
So from the slum, he's talking about how his house will be much bigger.
Yes.
See God.
Yeah.
See God.
Allan had faith. You know that one unetanga, but anyway, I do agree, because Mungu anasemanga si ni kondoo wake. Enyewe Allan alikuwa kondoo yake. Because kondoo ikiambiwa pita hivi,
inapita.
That's what he did.
Fanya hivi unafanya.
Believed God to the last minute.
He was just trusting this God.
Yes.
So when he got born again, everything turned around. He changed completely.
Yes, even the way he used to dress. This was a guy, mother alikuwa na buy, mother pia alikuwa anajua to label, kuna nunua mashati za Van Hussein, jeans za Lee, tuka hizo. But ungeona huyu kijana amezivaa, hakuwa na glory. Lakini alipookoka, do you know, even in school he started performing. They went for one recital for him speaking in public and said, hey, ara ni ara hiyo wega. And me, I'm like, mbona kujangi zangu na hata mimi naongeanga poa.
Ukamuuliza Wambui. So Wambui, okay. So of course now he's changed his lifestyle and all that, and you're like, why, you know, why would you leave
get saved and leave
me? And you started to try and get saved, but you would always backslide and all that until, of course, later on in life.
Yeah.
So fast forward, I have now come into the picture. I want you to tell us just that bit, because I want to go to you and the effect. Huh? So he came and introduced me.
Yes.
And me, first and foremost, let me just tell you my part.
Yes, let me hear that one.
I come to the house,
yes,
and I'm like, wow. Like somebody really did live like this. You know, because it wasn't my
it
I
was not
from.
Yes.
So I was like very shocked. Like, oh my gosh. And he had explained to me, he had told me it's only one room, this is where I'm coming from and all that. So I came, I was like, whoa. You know?
Yes.
That it was a shocker.
It was a shocker.
But I loved him. And then you saw me, you were like, eh?
And my mom was unwell
that
time. I think she's just had her first like a stroke.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting at home. I've come home early. So I'm sitting on a stool and I'm looking at the window, and a very nice vehicle stops.
Yeah.
And who opens? Oh, this handsome brother of mine.
Yes.
Hey. And I'm like, Mami, ara nini yoka? Before I even finish, the door opens.
Yes.
Yeah. Kuna kadem. Nakairetu ha. Alafu, you had worn a peach top.
Yeah.
Na kanguo kalikuwa ka black.
Yeah.
Natuma maua. Alafu kalikuwa ganatuma firiria hapa. And the shoe was matching the coat. Now, I had just bought samaki mwitu. You know these two small fish zinauzangwa huko barabarani.
Okay, inaitwa samaki mwitu.
Okay, just kuzi food ya street ndago mwitu. Nilikuwa nimebauda tu samaki tudogo. So I used to love them. So mimi nazikula tu hapo. Now I'm seeing, kai, mami, I'm like, ala nimekuja na udem. Wow! Mimi na majuela zangu na makata zangu za brown. Wow, nikazifucha hivi. Ukakuja, ukaingia. Kwa sana jaribu kutafuta mpaka mavumbi. Tutaka hapa. Ataka wapi huyu? Ataka ako ikaraku. Allan is lost. Allan has lost it.
He has lost it.
Analeta udem hapa. Kwani hajui vile tunaishi? Now, so you come and you sit down. You didn't even, you just sat down. Hi, and like this, my sister. Like, hey, okay. Na ndio alikuwa amekataliwa na demu mwingine. So I'm like, hey, nataka tu mademu wa kumkataa. Pia jopi wana kutukataa. Asikiangi huyu. Sa hizo you're like, I can smell fish. Is that fish?
Wewe. Oh my gosh.
Fish. Nikamwambia, ni zingine hapa hivi wacha nilete. I'm like, these ones, I love this fish. Ushaanza kukula.
I said and I started eating.
Ukaanza kukula. And I think that is now where my heart was like, ni mgeto, ni nguo tu.
Yuko sawa.
Amevaa. But what I never forgot is that then you sang for my mom. You sang.
He told me to sing, I'm sure.
Yes. You sang for my mom. Mama akasikia vizuri. And then you left. And nyumba yetu ilinuka wewe 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Hiyo nyumba ilinuka wewe.
Wiki mbili.
Nilikuwa napitia hapo.
Ati then mom started telling him that he's aimed too high.
Yes.
Will she really accept you? Will this girl really allow
But I do remember when she came, she told me, hey, Allan ameniletea kasichana. So I'm like, kakoaje? Because there's another one kalikuwa kamemkataa. Karibu nikapige. Maka madhe anaanza kwani wewe ndio umewachwa.
lazima kangemkata.
Of course. Lakini nakwambia, the other day I spoke to a lady who knows her and knows you. And you know what we said? We are so glad that girl left. Had she agreed, what Bishop has gone through, alijua.
But you see, God was in the, God was in the plan.
Sasa mimi nilikuwa na ubaya nako, tulipananga nako mahali kwa chipu. Nilikapatia maneno. Alafu nakuja kwa madhara kaniambia, kwani wewe ndio uliwacho? Anyway,
wachana na watu wenyewe.
So when you came, and of course, his life changed.
We thank God.
His life just
we
changed.
Thank God. We thank God.
I keep saying I am so glad because you really covered him.
Yeah, we became best friends.
You became best friends.
Yeah.
Every day back and
okay. I don't want us to talk about that today because I don't want to start bowling here.
I have to save my makeup.
we gotta save makeup. Yeah. We are on Woman Without Limits, y'all. And so, Wambui, tell me how now, that story that we have laughed about and all that, how it affected you as a woman. So here is a father that beats the mom, and you've seen it, and it's so degrading, belittling, and you've seen your mother really so broken.
Yeah.
What did it do to you as a woman where men are concerned?
It, what do I say? I'm looking for the right words. Because it made me aloof from men and relationships. And very, very careful. Like Mimi, you don't put your hand on me. And if you put your hand on me, we used to say, ukinipiga ngoch na kupiga ururo. You beat me at 10 cents, I will beat you at 5 cents. Lakini
I will also beat you.
Yes.
You will I beat me silently. We are fighting.
Yes. Yeah. So you see, it taught me to be very militant, to defend myself. Yeah. To look at and ask myself, okay, what is it that a man can do? Ni nyumba naweza jilipia. Nimesoma, niko job. It made me work extra hard because of what I saw my father do to my mother. And then the struggles that I saw my mother go through. Yeah. She would tell me, oh, Wambui, it's not good, not all men are like that. But inafika mahali, you're like, sijaona change kubwa sana. Because this is a father I have tried even to reach out, get a relationship. Even like hook up my son with him. Then he does something. You're like,
it's not worth it.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, if my father can do this to me, what would other men do? You know, talker. Yeah.
You got into a particular relationship,
yes.
You know, that you even got your son.
Yes.
Maybe you can tell us about that. Like, how was that for you?
It was very good, and the guy was good. In fact, there are times I call him and tell him, you gave me good seed. Yeah, he's good seed. But because of my insecurities, you know, you send good people away. Because of that insecurity, you're like, na akiniacha, na akienda. So the minute that thought comes in, flight.
You flight mode.
Yeah. Flight mode.
So you are chasing away good people based
on
your insecurity.
Many. In fact, I keep saying I've never been booted. I leave.
Stop.
Yeah. The time the thought just comes in, unajua jamaa anaweza anafikiri mimi ataumiza.
Mimi nitamuumiza.
Naenda.
I will leave before he leaves.
Yeah, before he hurts me. Because all my life, that's what my father did. Every time he got close, he would do something that would crush your heart. So you're like, you know what? Hey.
This guy is
roho
like
yangu,
that.
Wachana, niachie na roho yangu. Take everything but leave my heart. Yeah.
So you would chase away good people. Oh my
yes.
God. But
so even this guy suffered that.
Ladies that are watching right now, you know what? You need to hear this. Because many times the things that happen to you during your foundation, it really makes you become who you become in life.
Yeah.
And it determines a lot of places you go and people you interact with. Because at the end of the day, you can lose on very, very amazing godly relationships that God has sent your way, but you chase them away because of your insecurities. Because of your background, your foundation. So you would push away even the good.
Even the good.
Because I remember Sid's dad.
Yeah,
I
he's
remember.
A good man.
Yes.
Just like Sydney. Actually, he's a very, in fact, I would even tell Sydney, maze buda yako si yako na shida. Ni mimi ndio mbaya.
And it's not that when in mbaya, Wambo,
you
know, that's the worst thing. Is that is what, ultimately, that's what even people think. But it's not the person. It is the foundation, the things that you've gone through.
And by the time you come to realize, time imeenda. But it's sitting back and reflecting and asking myself, why am I like this? Why am I so dysfunctional in relationships? Because I did ask myself that at one time. And this time it was very close. Although this time it was very close. But Sydney told me, mimi sipendi fulani. Akikuja hapa ukaa. So I'm like, anything that will give my child insecurities? No. Because his happiness first. But then the other day he told me, mama ukipendwa sahi pendeka. 50.
Oh yeah. Ukipendwa pendeka.
Ukipendwa pendeka.
Because you can see this pretty girl.
But it's because, like you're saying, it's because I asked myself, why am I very dysfunctional? And I went back, slowly by slowly. And I knew this is what happened. Because, you'd said, okay, by the way, fulani alinikoseana. Hiyo si kitu ningevumilia.
Something so small
ningevumilia.
That people go through every day.
You see. And then I was like, by the way, so before this and this, I told you I journal a lot. So you go back and you're like, anyway, this one was...
It was too minor.
Yes, it was too minor. And then I realized that's the heart. That's the core. That's where it is. Because my dad was my first love. But this guy, remember, kicked me out. Has kicked me out.
Over and over.
Over and over. Until the last time I told him on the face, listen, nimeenda. Na utajaniona tena.
What happened?
Let me not. It was a bit heavy. That was in 2002. And this is now when...
Because you kept on trying to get a relationship with him.
I did.
Over the years.
Even when my brothers were not doing it, I'm the one who kept going. Even my first job, when I got a job, the first thing was like, I'd ask Mommy, can I buy my shirt? My mom said, even if buy my suit, kwanza mnunulia hata suti. I would even take money, buy him something, take him, look for him,
just
come and
for
give
love.
brief to kidnap.
Looking for his acceptance.
Exactly. I pushed for his acceptance. And the last thing he did was like, if I do this, people will say this. I asked him, really?
Now it's about people. It's not about me and you. You're including people in our relationship.
And remember, my mouth would never call him Fafa, Baba. Ingetoka. Ingetoka.
Uko na mwita nini?
Ukawa Sydney. We, excuse me.
No.
Excuse me.
You just go talking, but you
Fafa that word would never come out. Now that was now the third disappointment. He would tell you, come, I've given you this piece of land. You go. I sold it. Okay. I have saved. Now come, I'll even give you a place. You go. Oh, if I do this and this. That one broke me. That was 2002. I went and I told him. I remember I went and told him. Because I couldn't get the word Fafa. I told him, excuse me. The one thing that you have, I've asked you, and you've denied me. Stay with it. And you will never see me here again.
Like, we are done.
We are done.
We're done.
We're done. And I remember I cried bitterly. Rejection now on the face.
So what you saw with him is a lot of rejection.
Yeah.
But it made you also reject all the men in your life.
Surely.
Because they scared you. You always thought they'll turn out like him.
Exactly. And don't forget, that time, we just had a riff with my son's dad, Sydney's dad. So, see, we are building a relationship with my father. And you know how a woman, you want a relationship with a man.
Yeah.
So my father was the next one. So like, let me go. After all, we have built. And of course, he's been suggesting, you know.
Yeah. So let's try this thing.
Let's try this thing.
Yeah.
And I suggest nimkaribie. So wacha niende tufanye hii mpango pamoja. My friend.
He rejected you point blank.
On the face. But thank God, kai sasa ningekuwa bibi ya mtumia wa Kisaki. Kai. Yeah.
So let me ask you, Wambu. So what you're saying now is that somebody needs to reflect and see, because you'll be messing up with many good things.
Very good things.
Coming into your life.
Yes.
Based on things that you have not checked.
Yes.
What would you do differently today?
What I would do differently, I would be more patient. And I would understand it is not that person, it is me. Because you see, what would happen is that I would blame the other person so that I don't get hurt. And unfortunately, when I hurt, I would not heal quickly. It would take me a long time to heal. And it's because I did not have a channel to express myself. So what I would suggest is that give it time. Find out from the other person what causes them to. Because these days I've become that expert. Yes. Now I tell a person, please.
Because you've saved many marriages.
Yes.
Of people who wanted to run away, and you're like, sit here,
please
let me tell
sit
you.
down.
Yeah.
If I knew what I know now, I would not do what you're doing. Sit. And I would tell them, step 1, this will happen.
Yeah.
Step 2, this will happen. And then in step 3, they call me, Dada, please, it is happening. I said, can you run back to your house? Now go. And sometimes some of them, you just find them together and you're thinking, okay, yes.
So are you open now to, if you got a nice relationship right now, would you be ready, like, to go all the way?
I think now much. Now I understand. But you see, unfortunately, they say you understand when it's a bit too late.
It's not too late. 50-something, you're still very young. You're still, because the way you look pretty today.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Because I think now I understand. And I now know what I want. Because you see, before, you were also looking for a father figure in the wrong person.
Hello. Please talk about that.
Yeah.
You're looking for a father figure.
In your husband. How can he father you and husband you? He has to be one. He either becomes a father
or the
husband.
So you're looking for a father figure.
Yes.
So anything different.
Yes.
So in that way, you mess up with a lot of things in your life.
Exactly.
With the wrong men.
Yes.
The wrong men.
The wrong men. Some of them were very right. In fact, there was one that was so right. But again, you know that insecurity of, hey, unajua unaweza enda tu. Enda kama mapema. Mimi nimekupatia freedom. Kwanza mimi give them. Nimekupatia freedom.
Unaweza enda.
Yeah.
So you
shut your
doors.
I detach. And I am so good at detaching. But then I can detach and you forget that I even know you. Yeah, and feelings wisha. You know what, that when you look at a person like, uendaga.
Na kuanga story ile tulikosananga. Tutaongea hiyo story kidogo. Si tulianza na hiyo story ati the reason we didn't even do this program was tulikosananga.
Tulikosania nini? Sijui message fulani ilitumwa.
Message fulani ilitumwa.
Kuna mtu alikuja akasema.
First, let's start with your anger issues. Let's start there because you see, first and foremost, we've talked about like letting good relationships go.
Yes.
Then anger. You are an angry person.
Exactly.
Talk to us about that.
And even my anger, I keep saying I thank God for my mom. Mother did. Parents, pray for your children.
Yeah.
Those little things.
Yeah.
When I told my mom that I've chosen to be a kindergarten teacher.
Yeah.
Kai Wambui utaua watoto wenyewe. Utaua watoto wenyewe.
Because of the
And I have never been accused in my 30-something years of teaching of hitting a child. I am actually the biggest hugger, lover of children. I mean, me children are my world because of the anger issues. But I can get angry at a human being. And you know what? It's a defense mechanism.
Tell us.
I came to learn anger and withdrawal were my greatest defense mechanisms. Yes.
Defense mechanisms.
Exactly. This is a young girl growing up with no father to hold her, no father to love her.
To affirm her.
We're talking with Kina, I think we're talking with Kina, the girls.
Vanessa.
The tats. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me, I'm not a touchy person. No, I'm not. Ati when you're talking and then you want to hug
you.
Yeah. No.
Stay with
Ati
your
touch
touch.
me. The touch I had was kuchapwa, kunini, so anything. But for me,
anything to show love.
Yeah.
You're not used to it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Like,
I'm even
forget this.
suspicious.
Yeah. Like, what do you want?
What is it that I have to offer you? Why are you coming? So anger became the defense.
The defense mechanism.
Yes.
You are angry.
Yes.
And that would make you fight. That would make you abuse.
Abuse, and then even stay away from people. Because, okay, me, bala unikasirisha nikuambie mbaya. Because, you know, after that, and this is where I love Bishop, because I remember there's a time I had an incident with a guy, just got saved. Then I had a guy with an incident in the matatu, and I called him all the names, all the animals, wild, domestic.
He went to the wild
Hata zile za Australia.
Makangaroo.
Makangaroo na nikarudi zote. And then I left the matatu and I felt so bad. Nikasikia vibaya. Like mbona nimemtukana. That thing would really make me feel bad. You know, you shout, you do all the throw a tantrum, and then you'd sit back and wonder, why? And I would break. Like, why? And so I remember getting out. That's when I learned it was just a defense mechanism. And you're feeling angry because I'm a child who's been raised. There was no father to give you the protection.
Right.
The brother that you are depending on, ameokoka ameenda kanisa.
He's too deeply rooted in God.
In God. Madhako, me when I get home, she's not used to having a child like me. Her sons are nice and quiet. She even told you, I will exchange you with 3 boys. Madhambia, wema. Tika washirirwa nyoba. Ningejua nili exchange you. She was very sure nili exchange you.
There is no way.
Yes, because you know them, they are quiet.
Yeah.
They are not as loud as I am.
Right.
Yeah. But for me, it's like you're learning to defend yourself. Now, because again, you do not have the space to express yourself that, you throw a tantrum. In fact, for me, when everybody throws a tantrum, I just let them and then I go back and like, tell me. It's okay. Tell me why that
why
happened.
you throwing a tantrum?
Yes. So that became my kasirika, watukane, wambie vibaya, because unasikia uchungu na ujui sasa hata hao wasikie vile unasikia.
Vile unasikia.
Tusikie pamoja.
Tutoshane. Kiwaru pia mimi wacha nikuweke.
Yeah. How will you stay there na mimi niko hapa? Sisi wote tuende chini. And then now when you start realizing that as you're growing, you're like, okay. Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, man. So fast forward, you've gotten Sydney. And you're still angry?
Yes.
You're still angry now?
Yes.
Are you going to release it on him? How is that when you're bringing him up?
At one time, I released it on him. But then, like I said, God brings the right people.
Yeah.
If she'll be watching this, my former head teacher and boss, Mrs. Dorina Maina, Aga Khan Nursery School, Nairobi, that lady helped me. A lot. And if you remember, that's when my transformation came in. That lady helped me a lot. Because she took me for a parenting class. And I do remember I went through the exercises. But again, I would hear Sydney. I would hear myself in Sydney, the way Sydney is speaking to other children. There's a boy called Dave. And now Dave is supposed to tie his shoelaces. So Sydney knew how fussy I was. Tie your shoelaces, funga shoelaces.
Yeah.
So Sydney, naona anafunga shoelaces. Amechelewa na niko na haraka.
Yeah.
So you know, mimi ni mtu wa kuenda enda.
Yes.
Kuja hapa nikufunge, wewe hujui kufunga. So that day I had Sydney saying, "Kuja nikufunge, wewe hujui." I sound so bad.
You
sounded
yourself.
so bad. This is what I sound. Then now I remember I went and told my boss, I am really not liking. You remember I'd even brought Sydney here to you.
Yes.
Because like now me, I'm beating this kid, I will finish him.
Yes.
And Sydney says, let him beat me.
I remember.
Even if she beats me and then she will buy me anything that I want. Because you know now the guilt.
Yeah.
So papa unataka nini? Ile remote. Ile gari ya remote. That time ni ya 20,000. Aki afadhali 20,000 umbaie.
So he's okay. So nichape tu.
Nichape tu.
Remote control.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, I would beat him. And then Nakumatt was 24 hours.
Yeah.
So
You know what, Wambui, what I love is that somebody is watching right now, and that's where they are.
Yeah.
Even with removing and releasing it on their
Yes.
child or their children.
Yes.
And it's based on where they are coming from.
Exactly.
See, do you know how many don't catch themselves and they continue like that? So they bring up dysfunctions.
Yes.
The dysfunctions bring up other dysfunctions.
Functional children.
Before you know it,
Yeah.
it's a whole
mess.
generation after
Yes.
generation
Yes.
of dysfunctions.
Yeah.
And so you are really, and I love the fact that you're vulnerable. You're vulnerable.
Oh, yeah.
So you're being able to help somebody.
Yes.
You know,
yes,
it's only
yes.
nakedness that is
Yeah.
able to help
And
somebody.
even becoming naked to your children.
Yeah.
Because at one time I realized,
Yeah.
I don't know what I did. I had just done this. And then I saw Sydney. I hated myself. I said, how can I be loving other people's children?
Yeah.
And charity begins at home. So I told him, Sydney kuja.
Yeah.
Nikikuita ng'ombe. Useme mtoto ya ng'ombe ni ng'ombe. Ng'ombe anazaliwa na ng'ombe. Uniambie hivyo. He told me, lakini mami utanipiga. Aki sitakupiga. Ukiniita nguruwe, hata nikikuita nguruwe, uniite kinguruwe kikubwa.
You told him?
Yes.
Did he ever tell me whether it worked?
He should tell you.
Stop.
I wish he comes.
No,
so one day, nimekuja na hizo masira tena.
Yeah.
Sinisema usikule hizi vitu. Akuliwe ni ng'ombe, tuwe ni ng'ombe. Then he stood there and said, na wewe ni kile king'ombe kikubwa. And then he ran to his room and locked. And I stood there and I cried. And I stood him and told him, Sydney asante, sitajawahi kupiga tena. Sitajawahi kutukana tena. Sitajawahi.
You told him.
And then that is the time we were also coming for a meeting at Ngara. Dr. Albert Odulele. It is hard being a man.
Yes, he preached on it. It's very hard
I
to be a man.
looked for that boy, I hugged him, I cried, I told him I am sorry. Tukikosana inaishia hapo na hatutajarudia. In fact, he's the one who tumwambia, see, I think tulisawingi kitu. I learned. JCC also the teachings. Now I also learned. And then there's that time I told you I was angry about that matatu guy. You know what Bishop told me? He told me when I called him, that time I used to say in Kilimani, imagine nimetukana na mtu wa matatu. Na niliokoka tu nasikia vibaya. How can it happen like this? Akaniambia, Wambu, the fact that you've understood.
Yeah.
The fact that umejua umefanya vibaya.
That's the best.
That is the best.
Yeah. Yeah. The beginning of healing, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
And remember, don't be angry, because anger lies in the bosom of a foolish man. Excuse me.
He told you.
Yeah. Do
Be
I want
sure.
to be foolish?
God just increase his crown.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Do I want to be foolish? Uto ndio tu vitu nilikuwa nakwambia, nilikuwa naomba God, namkumbusha. You know, Dorcas, kai Mungu akikumbuka tu bro. Unakumbuka kaka those things. Tell me, anger lies in the bosom of a foolish man.
Right.
Do I want to be foolish?
Of course not.
So anga ikaanza kuisha. Kuita mtoi majina ikaanza kuisha. Ningejam nikwambia, toka hapa angel wewe, malaika hii. Kana niangalia kana. Yes, so it started changing. And then now even at the workplace. And then like I was telling you, my boss.
Yeah. I want us to actually go there before you even talk about the boss, Wambo. I want us to go into how you started kindergarten teaching. Like, What made you go there? How did you think about that?
The kindergarten.
Yeah.
Kindergarten was very interesting. I wanted to be a tour guide. You know, ningekuwa nikipaka makeup hivi.
Unaonesha watu
I wanted to be a tour guide.
Yeah.
And so when I did my A-levels, I did well. And I remember Evangelist holding my hand and taking me to Mam Teresa Wairimu.
Yes.
She took me because that time now, she really came into our lives to also change us. So Bishop would cry out, you know, my sister, Waboiwito. Waboiwito, he called me Waboiwito. So she's like, you know, it's good to see it, you mentor her, at least nikwe na ulady like. So akanichukua akanipeleka to the principal and of Utalii. I was shortlisted, but now when I even went for the first interview, did a second interview, and then I ended up not passing. Sikuitwa. And I was angry. And I threw a tantrum.
Because why now?
Me,
Because
I will never even pray this God. How? My friends didn't do well. Wameingia tour guide. We madhe uwezi hongana. Iningie.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
And I remember feeling very bad. So that time, nikaitwa, I think it was, because after A-levels, if you didn't qualify for university, you go to diploma.
Yeah.
So I went and taught as an untrained teacher. Then I got a job. I got a calling at Siriba, teachers training, which was Maseno. I think it was not a change. Now it's Maseno. Then I was nikaitwa, kunaitwaje, Kilimambogo. Nitoke tao. City girl. Haiwezekani.
You always make.
And I was not feeling it. So one day, Evangelist Teresa Wairimu, she told me, you know, Wambui, you are very good with children. I'm like,
She told you, look at mom.
Yeah, you're very good with children. You know, there's a place you can go. Because she would see when I go now to see, you see, I'm still following Bishop.
Yes.
Bado namfuatanga kule church. So mimi sasa kwa sababu mimi siwezi huko na rebe shaka.
Yeah.
Acha nikakae na watu.
Yeah.
Marabashainda.
Yeah.
Aturabariki. So niko tu hapa hivi tunafuatana tu na watoi, and she noticed. So remember, there's a very nice college where I trained. It's called KHA, Kindergarten Headmistress Association. And you know, you'll do well. I was like,
she told you.
Yes. She took me to Green Gates Kindergarten.
What?
And I did it. And I remember when I got in, the little chairs, the paintings on the wall, the little the little toilets, you know, those two things. I was like, human beings wanatumia hizi. Nikupoa.
Are you serious?
Yes. It was there was a diploma course and a certificate course. But remember, nimesumbua Mama Allan.
Yeah.
Amini ninaeza.
Like how?
Yeah, nimetumwa kwa auntie nikambo, mwalimu wa nursery. No, umesoma mpaka form 6. Aki haiwezekani.
Like how?
How?
Yeah.
Anyway, so wakanilipia certificate. Wacha niingie.
Mama kakulipia?
Madhe sasa Sasa madhe akanilipia certificate. Yes, you're good with kids. And I remember
talk about destiny helper.
Yes.
Talk about somebody knowing by the
actually,
Spirit.
Yes, that this is what you will be.
You know, I've never had that.
Oh.
I've never had that mom was involved.
Actually, she's the one who told me. She's the one who told me about KHA because that's where she's trained. You know, she's a kindergarten trained teacher.
I know. She started with the school.
Yes.
Yeah. This is
so as we were going to FEM, that time it was Faith Homes of Kenya.
Yeah.
You know, Bishop wanaumba huko, mimi niko na watoi hapa. And she was like, you make a very good teacher. Mimi, mwalimu wa nadhari.
Where?
Yeah, but then when I saw the kids, the little toilets, the little toilets, the two chairs.
You were like,
I was like, this is cute. Yeah. This is really nice. And then after that, I remember my first job. So our starting salary was 1,800. But I went to a school And my first salary was 3,750.
Stop it.
My mother told me, kayali mother eme mshahara.
You mean
walimuona sasa wako na mshahara?
This is the way to go?
Yes.
This is the way to go? So
yes.
she said, yeah.
Yes. Fine. In fact, even that, there was still like a struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do remember my first job. She was like, Wambui, first stay at home. This is too much.
Yeah.
This is too much.
Yeah.
Then they're paying you little. Because that time they'll tell you, the school in Odhero, you're living in Kariobangi, wanakulipa so 8.
So,
yote naishia kwa transport.
Of course.
But mi niko excited nimepata job. Mother akaniambia pana, wacha kutafuta kazi haraka, tafuta pole pole. So when I went to this school, Riara School, and I got my first job, and I got my first good pay, and I got the exposure.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what.
So you loved now working with the kids.
Oh my goodness.
So like what mom had seen became a reality.
Yes.
So you started enjoying working with kids.
Yes.
And you were loving them.
And I have never been accused beating, pinching,
or mistreating a kid. You loved them, you embraced them.
And I never get tired.
Yeah.
I mean, children are my world. I'm this kind of person, even when I'm working in a supermarket, I'm like, oh, I'm almost saying hello, hi. Then nakumbuka, oh, si wetu. Yani, people will think nitaka kuiba watu.
You just fell in love.
Yes.
So tell me, Wambui, now fast forward again. We keep fast forwarding. Oh my gosh. Because the story is just too amazing. It's so good. And imagine people, I know people are enjoying watching this, but they are getting healed as well.
Yeah.
They are understanding that your background is critical.
Very critical.
And it will advise a lot of what you become relationally when you grow up. It's determined by that.
It determines.
So you mess up beautiful relationships just because you had a bad, upbringing, a dysfunctional. So your life becomes dysfunctional. Then you're an angry person. And Wambui is talking about being angry, not because she even wanted to be angry, but as a defense mechanism. Yeah. So you see, sometimes your defense mechanisms are destroying good relationships. Yeah. So good people are running away from you because they can't handle you. Yeah. Because you're abusive. You use abusive language. You use your hands. Sometimes you beat. You push people away.
You push people away, and you don't even want to be in their space because, I mean, wanaweza kukasirisha tu anytime for no reason.
For no reason.
And you know me how I love being around.
I know.
Yeah. But
I know.
Yeah, but then there's that part. In fact, for people who know me, those ones who have known me after that has gone, they will wonder how Kiuna tudanganya.
They can't believe
but
this
unless
part.
now people like family know that hizo anga za Wambui zilikuwaga mbaya. Yeah. Na niyo kuona you're destroying. Yeah. Okay, people that I work with, they know, okay, I'm strict.
Yeah.
But
strict is part of the...
strict is part of... Yeah. But at least I do not have those explosive angers that used to be there. But like I say, they come from the beginning. Yeah. So
unless you deal with them, you notice, you deal with them, you really can mess up with life.
And parents, and parents, how you deal with when mkiwachana, the children don't have any mistake. Reach out to them. Let them have a place they can talk, because what time did we have to talk with our mother? She was busy akifanya kazi kwa Muhindi, amesomewa huko, so she's coming, she's just seeing the mistakes. Me, I'm telling you, by the time somebody told me you're beautiful, I was like, really? And then after that, what do you want? Yeah, because every time you'd stand at your mother, hera jongieno, najure shikinyete vivi. Yeah, like you. But you see, she was doing that to ground me. But the way you're being grounded.
To protect you from all shenanigans.
Exactly. Yeah. But now you find out the boys, she's protecting you, but she does not know any better.
So she's doing her part, but it's destroying you in some way, because she's never telling you you're beautiful. She's always telling you you're ugly and stuff. Yes. And then you meet a man who tells you you're beautiful. You're like,
yeah. And then next minute, kwa nini? You remember your mother told me you're not. Yeah. Unanidanganya.
Yeah.
Then you find that I would complain, like, mom, in school, this and this and this happened. When are you mdomo yako? So you're like, okay.
So you're always on the wrong. So nobody was there to defend you.
Exactly. So defend yourself. Jipiganie. Nikuita kianimal kimoja na kibody part maybe. kisection. Tutoshane. Nisikie vizuri. Kwani nitaishi chini? Yeah.
So let me ask you, Wambu. So here you are now. You started the school and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Then your brother again steps in. Tell us about that, on how now you became
a CEO, a director, a school owner,
director,
a property owner.
Tell us about that. That is very critical.
That one is very critical. And this is because when I first went to Kisumu, we were very close with Bishop. You remember?
I remember.
To come in church Sunday, tulikuwa, we were happening.
Yeah.
So now I'm sent to Kisumu to run this school. First it started with Eldoret, and then I get to Kisumu, and it is so hard. One, this is the first time I'm away from home. I had never been away from home. This is the first time you've been told, okay, Eldoret was okay. Now you're heading this school. There were a lot of problems, and those people don't even like you. And then the weather. And then I've gone in. I'm young. It's about 35. Ndio tumeachana na Baba Sydney, so umerudi soko. Nimeoga na maji imenikubali. Na pesa iko.
Na pesa iko. Utasema nini?
Na sasa ndio kuna kabutka tumekavaa. Kanywele umedai, makucha umepaka. Yani uko firi. Yani uko
umejinice.
You have drunk yourself water. Yes. Umejikunywa maji. Then unaingia, you're told to head a place that has been headed by tushoshos. So they don't understand you. Me, I am mbwa.
Yeah.
Manager by walking about. Yeah. Niko hapa.
Ni manager by walking about.
Mbwa. Management by walking about.
Yes.
Ni mbwa.
Yeah.
I'm there. I want to see what's happening.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you need to know. They were not used to me. The parents come and they're wondering, who is she? One, she's young. Look at her hair.
Yeah.
Then they come, they ask you, you're like, oh, at 1 o'clock, because for me, motherhood, I've always committed myself to, it's 1 o'clock, I need to rush to my son's school.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a son, yeah. Where does your husband work? I'm single.
Yeah.
Sorry. So now they start even putting, so a lot of stigma came in. So I'm hating this place. I'm not liking it. The weather is not favorable. I mean, I thought this is a place when I come in, they will look at you and tell you, hey, oh dear, Roger Bear. Akuna.
Awataki. Yeah. So you cried out to your brother.
So I called him. And I remember that day I was sitting, I went home at lunchtime. There was a bathtub. That bathroom used to be near the barabara. There was a road, so the traffic was heavy, and I called him. And I wanted to shout. So there was a more quiet room, but that's what I can shout, because angesikia iko kelele. So I cry, because he would tell me, stop getting emotional.
Yeah.
I'm here. These people don't even like me. I cried. Bishop in his calmness, Wambu, just hang in there. That could be your place of calling. That could be your place of blessing. Hakuna, amazi iwezekani. Wambu, just hold on. Then in the evening he called me now. He's like, you've come down here. Wambu, that could be your place. You know, whenever you go and you face hostility, you're also toughening up.
Yeah. He will tell you.
Yeah. So I stayed. Now when I got the contract now to stay, I remember I had packed and sent Sydney here. Because us, we are now living, tumeenda ile time nimemaliza imeisha, hakuna vile nakaa hapa. Nikaambiwa tena na stay. Hey, God amenihate. I called Bishop, ulinidanganya.
Yeah.
Bishop, God amenihate.
Yeah.
Naweza jika hapa. Hey, told me, Wambu, please. You cannot judge God foolishly. He told you. Yes. Stay. That's your place. Sawa tu. Then look at the positive things. Okay, Sydney will go to a good school, blah, blah, blah. We stayed. So worked. The school picked. And I would now call him. Hey, unajua hivi. He would arrive. He's telling everybody. See? I started feeling like a star.
Yeah.
Things became good. So, would now come to meetings. The head office was here in Nairobi. So we'd come to the meetings in Nairobi. And now sasa si nimefunguka. And then he would even tell me, read these books. There's a time he was very big on leadership books. Yeah. Me, that's when I grew. Yeah. When we were, Bishop was very big on leadership.
On leadership, and
yes.
he taught it a lot.
He taught it a lot. And he gave us the books to read.
Yeah.
So we read that, we knew that. Even before I make decisions, I would be like, am I being emotional or am I behaving like a leader? So before I fire somebody, I'd be like, okay, was it because I was emotional? Makosa iko wapi? Hapa ilikuwa ni hasira ya ujinga. Kenda ikishanga.
Wow.
Now, so we'd come from the meetings and we get to, I come here. Si nimetaka kuja nikitembeleaga brother, nikilalanga kwa brother. Oh, how was it? You know, I was telling them this, wamekataa, I'm suggesting this. He said, Wambui, you know, now you're thinking like a service provider. Why don't you start your own? I'm like,
how?
We unajua we unaongea nini?
Yeah, how?
Mimi nianza kukimbiza na wazazi ni ukichanga school fees. Uongo. Let me have my salary niko poa.
Yeah.
We come for another meeting. Now even have better suggestions, bigger suggestions. And you'd even ask me, what were you suggesting? And you know, I was telling them this, if they want the numbers to do this, we want to do this. He told me, Wambui, you're thinking like a service provider. Start your own. I said, Wambui, now you need to stop the whining. You know, there's a place Bishop would get.
Yes.
Unamfika.
Yeah.
I mean, amekuambia
uski. And tell you point blank.
Yeah.
Stop the whining. Yeah.
Shauri yako. And I was like, okay, jam. Sawa. Me, you know.
Yeah.
So, don't stop the whining, Wambui. And then another thing he told me, when I first went, we used to have conflicts. And this is where I keep saying, I wrote on my Facebook, I will miss Bishop because he used to challenge the way I thought. Yeah. He used to make me think widely. Yeah. And then stop seeing the negative. Yeah. See the positive in that negative. So there's this, when I first got a job there, and this person, we were not kupelekana. So, mi na complain. Kisumu iko aje? Iko fit lakini kuna umadamba na nani. Alikuja akaniuliza, does she give results? Akaniambia, yeah, she give results. Then your bosses don't care about you. She will step on your toes, step on your head, step on you until you give results. So do this. Aliniambia, shape up. Stop whining, shape up. Go and give results.
Whoa.
Na nilipopeana results.
Things changed.
Akilipiwa first class, niko first class na yeye. Paka akaanza kutetemeka sasa yeye.
Aliona what?
Yeah.
The girl woke up.
He would make you think. Yeah. You know, stop looking at
the negatives.
Yeah, he used to say, stop pecking like a chicken. Angalia juu. Be a giraffe.
Wow.
That's what that he said. Stop pecking like a chicken. You're just whining. You know, gukweturage huragia. Yeah, but
start thinking big and where you're going.
Yeah.
So you started the school.
So time came and I started and it was not easy.
Yeah.
And I started. And you know Bishop would always challenge you. So unampigia, sasa niko na watoi so moja. Ushanunua shamba? Si hata ufurahie tu niko na watoi so moja. You still leasing?
Yeah. You happy?
You remember
like, are you still listening?
You remember even when I lived in Mathare North?
Yeah.
I have arrived.
Yes.
Nimetoka Kariobangi nimeenda Mathare North.
Until we came.
You come and tell me, Wambui,
like,
you still have mentality
ya
ghetto.
The child in this ghetto.
Yeah.
You must get him out.
Tukatoka.
Yeah.
You told me there you can get a very nice house hapo Gishesheni, kikino mzuri, iko na compound, nikaingia nyumba mzuri ya mabati.
Yes.
And it was like, ni mzuri ya mabati, iko na bedroom mbili.
Yeah.
Nikakaa kidogo kuja kani. Wambui, I think it's time you move out of this place. Na si wewe ndio uliniambia nihame hapa juzi.
Always wanted better.
Yeah, because in fact, when Sydney came to school, he told me, Mom, you autoshekangi. I said, I learned.
Yeah.
Never get satisfied.
Always go for the best.
Yes. So
he told you cannot be leasing.
Yeah, you cannot be leasing.
Yeah. Get your own.
Get your own. Then, Tuli nimepata shamba ingine. Na kwa hii shamba nataka nijenge kanyumba kangu hapo kwa kona, alafu sasa shule hapa. You know, so that it will be. But you can't live in your own school. Get land ya home.
Na ya shule.
Na ya shule. That was a very tall order. So I had to get shortcut. So I went to nimepata hizi nyumba zinauzangu. There's another house I want now to buy a house in an estate.
Wambui.
That's another person's dream.
You see, like this house. His mother told him.
When I heard, somebody testified about that.
Yes.
Sydney looked at me from wherever he was and he winked. Because I told him when he came and he found the school. He's like, Mom, we can buy this building. How much is this? This is the much. We did the calculations. I let him do the calculations. Then we can buy. I said, But you see, now look at this place. Where are we going to put our music room? Where are we going to, we are buying somebody's dream.
Go and build.
I said, sinunue estate. Piga hesabu, si uliona? Fanya hivyo.
Go and do, cheza kama wewe.
Cheza na plani yako. Again in school. He has done his work. Sisi tutaendeleza ile alianza. Because his words still ring a lot. Tutatoboa. His words still ring. Because alikuwa anakuambia kitu. Those words inakuwa project yako kama ya miaka 2 ama miaka 3. Nakumbuka hiyo time nikamwambia, lazima natafuta shamba hivi na hivi na hivi. Akaniambia, get prime land for the school. Oi, nimetoka.
Uko sawa.
Get prime land in Kisumu. And God gave us prime land in Kisumu. We're talking of prime. And this is because he was like, never do things even that word,
mediocrity he hated.
He hated even when you're doing stuff. So our next project is coming up without mediocrity.
Amen.
So he did speak into my life a lot. And every time we
took you into ownership. To own your own house.
And to
built by you. So that you're not renting.
And to a point where the words that he spoke that time when I was starting the school, you are now thinking like a service provider. So any time we get to a point where things are hard, hapa hivi sijui kama tutatoboa. But I'm like, this is a service. I'm a service provider. So this service is needed.
Yes, you will
we
provide
must push it.
Nakumbuka,
aliongea maneno mazito. Ninakwambia alikuwa akikuongelesha inakuwa ni wadi nakupeleka.
It's like waking you up.
Yes, alafu inakupeleka like nika project. Mazito utakuwa niongelesha tu pale yuko.
Wow. We thank God. We thank God, Wambui. And also that you are able to listen and to benefit from that.
A lot.
Because now you can see and see, that it pushed you. It pushed you to where you are. Now you have hundreds of kids.
Yeah, we are almost hitting 500. And
from a word.
And it
Wambui, wait, from a word.
Yes.
A spoken word.
Na ni space hatuna.
Sasa, my goodness, the people who are watching, listen, you know what somebody came and said the other day? Said that whatever Bishop spoke over your life, watch it. It's going to come to pass.
True.
What you need to do is now fight with the word. You see, that's what you did. You stood and said, you know what, it's so hard. He told you, stop whining. Pay attention to this and start.
In fact, he told me, stop pecking like a chicken. Wacha kuhurahuria kama kuku.
Lift your eyes.
And look at that.
Look at what
and know what I loved about him? Bishop was so genuine.
Very genuine. He wanted everybody to succeed. Everyone.
I remember one time I came. tulikuwa tunakuja kuruka mwaka. I think it was the year of Wale ya Kiemi. Must have been 2014 or 2015. The school was 2 years old and we were struggling. The struggle now was real.
Yeah.
I think I didn't even have 100 children. There were about 50 or 70 or 60. And Bishop saw me. This is my sister. She has the biggest school in Kisumu, the best. Please.
Speaking those things, vile alikuwa anawaambia ataendaga London when he was little.
Yes, I went back.
Yeah.
I said, si alisema.
Yes.
I went back and I took a piece of paper. 70, because I had begun my calculation. Sikuwa nimefika 70 that time, anasema niko na the biggest school in Kisumu.
Yeah. Right.
Nikaandika watoto 70. And I started praying. Tulifikanga 70 na tukapita.
Amen.
Unakuwa unaangalia bahasha yako ya tithe, una smile. You're like, really?
So Wambu,
yeah.
First and foremost, let me just talk to somebody who's watching us, and I pray that you have heard the Spirit of God ministering to you, that you don't have to let your background determine your future. You're cutting off relationships that God is bringing your way because you are refusing to deal with issues that have plagued you. And so today, as you watch this woman without limits, may you get a hold of what God has for you. Auntie Wambui is here, as we call her. She has lost many relationships because of that. And she's telling you, young one, you don't have to follow that path. You can mend your relationships by going back to your background and working on whatever it is that held you captive. It could have been a father who was never there, an abusive one if he was, a mother who was absent, parents who just never cared about you. It could be that, and it could be other things. You're the one who knows. But don't allow your background, okay, to cut off where God is taking you. I totally believe that even them going through what they did, God was still in control, as he still is in control even now. And even if your background is awful, it can turn you to a beautiful future. And you can bring your children up in a beautiful, functional way. And so don't give up just because of where you're coming from. God is with you. He's always with you. He never, ever leaves us or forsakes us. And so as you've heard this story, please mend your life. Don't follow the same path. Okay, come out of it. That's why we are bringing this story. Not so that you can just, hear, but so that you can do something about what you're hearing. And so, Wambo, today you said you are ready now to walk with a wonderful relationship and make it in life.
Yeah, and it's because of like even the way I also used it in my life is I look at children and I ask myself, and I tell my staff, and I've always done that, make sure that school is the happiest place they will ever be, because you do not know
what they're going through
at home.
Yeah.
So again, now you're able to look at relationships and say, okay, this one I know the problem. Yeah, I understand. And I will also, sometimes I look and want to listen. Umetoka wapi? How far was it? And again, even with Sydney, I go and I really apologize to him. Like, I am sorry. I could not have allowed you to give space, maybe to express yourself.
Right.
Because there's a time he called me and told me, don't mommy me again. Do not. Hey, I said, okay.
Yeah.
And then he felt bad. I went to his office and I told him, thank you. I am glad that you can express yourself and open yourself to me, so that I can now listen and see where those. So now I know the triggers, and I really avoid them.
You avoid the triggers.
Avoid them. I avoid the triggers, and I think I also got to know that this being militant, haikusaidi. I'm trying to be feminine.
The militancy haikusaidi.
Haikusaidi.
And then, like you said, and I love what you said, you realize it was just walls.
Yes.
You're trying to put walls to protect yourself.
Yes.
From what may
from
happen.
The heart. Yes.
Yeah, from
what.
the heart.
Yeah. And because parents, the heartbreak for your children that you cause your children are so painful because these are the first people that love you. So when somebody else, because I've never understood. And there are times I even asked my father, did he ever love us? Ulituachia nani? Who did you leave to protect us? And you know, just like you saw, Bishop, if we love, we love.
Yeah.
We can love big time.
For real.
Yeah. And
may God give you somebody who you can love like that.
my number is 07.
We'll put it on the screen.
Wait. I need to sleep, but ni 07.
Ni 07.
Nika 07 hivi.
Hapo hivyo.
Hapo hivyo.
But no, you know, let me tell you, because of that healing, imagine God is so faithful.
Yeah.
God is so faithful.
Yeah.
So, you were saying something.
And
I don't want to cut you
I
short
think,
because I want to...
I think it's also becoming vulnerable.
Okay.
Yeah, like I was telling you, my boss, what she did, she took me to a course that I learned on women empowerment. You're responsible for every decision you make. So when you make a decision to be angry,
don't blame people.
Don't blame people.
Yes.
When you make a decision to be calling other people's body
Names.
parts,
take
responsibility. And that is why, for me, after we fight, I will feel ashamed, but when I will come in like, maze pole.
Yeah.
Because being also vulnerable, that was a point that I had never been allowed to be vulnerable. I was supposed to be tough.
So never
hata nikilia nalilia nani.
Down.
In fact, if there's a person who knows my tears is God, I can cry and tell him that wamenifanya hivi, wamenifanya, because he's the only person I feel will not judge me, will not tell me what has happened. Because I never had that thing of my father
that you
just
could
coming
express yourself.
Like crying is okay. I have missed, forgive me, I've forgiven you. Never happened.
You have to find your way somehow in whatever way.
Yes.
Oh my God. So me and you had Kosanada. I
Yes.
know you're waiting. I know. I can sense. It's like, oh my gosh, Mom.
It happens. We are normal.
We are normal. We are human, of course.
Unless we keep pretending.
So, of course. So something had happened. And so, it was a message. Somebody told you something.
Yes.
Somebody told you something.
Yes.
And then Wambui calls me to confront me that she's upset with me. And I'm like, what?
We are two lionesses.
Yeah. I'm like, what? Me?
Yeah.
Do you even picture me saying that?
Yeah.
Like, Wambui, how can you even? So I said to her, listen, let's just forget this. Like me, I'm not going to have fights with you over the phone. Forget this. And she said, yes, forget it.
And she's forgetting. That's what I like. That is what I used to like. Yani, that's my forte.
Yeah. I'm in your territory. Forget.
You are raised. Me, I don't go that direction. Me, I'm like, hapo ndio nimependa. Kaende, kasonge.
My friend.
And then when you did not give me that, I got upset.
Yes. Because me, I'm like,
Yeah, when you don't give me that fight, I'm not upset. So, taku fight ki quiet. Nina my message.
Yes. I'm not replying. I'm not there. So we stayed, and the brother, of course, the brother is like, oh my God.
What is happening?
What's going on?
And I'm the only other woman he called babe.
Yeah.
Because we would speak and then he'd be like, oh, babe.
Babe. And then, Wambo. I would laugh.
So these are two babes.
Yeah.
These two women he loves. Now wamepigana.
Wamepigana sasa, But we thank God because after a while, it ended and now we are BFFs.
We grew up.
Yes, we grew up.
Yeah. But I keep saying, if you do not have that, because tulionjana.
Yeah.
Tulionjana, sio? Tulionjana. Yeah.
Yes. But so if you have a sister-in-law that you're not talking to, call them now. Talk to them. Or a brother-in-law. It's not worth it.
But it's
useless fight.
It is.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Family is everything. And once you have each other, that's very, very good.
And we really used to have each other.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
We were so
close.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And we are.
We are.
And we thank God.
Tuko pamoja.
This is Woman Without Limits. May God bless you and watch over you. Woo!